Right. So I realized that we've never been saying our names at all. Like we said it once, and then we've just been like getting started without even introducing ourselves, and that's kind of not good look.
Unprofessional. We're
Yeah, very
sorry.
unprofessional. So this is gonna be the Dynamite review with Matt Smokin' Moto,
Hi.
and the name that I have for myself now, I'm gonna be Miggy Reyes. There you go. I came up with a name.
All right.
I think that rolls off the tongue pretty well, Miggy Reyes. So, and it's very close to my name. So,
It works. It works.
yeah. So, also before we start, Biggie broke his neck, and as of this recording, he did announce that it was a C1 and C6 fracture. So, he's no damage to his spinal cord. So, very happy for that. And if he does ever see this, hope he gets a speedy recovery.
Hope
And
he
best wishes to him.
hope he gets well soon.
Yeah, I really like Biggie. I'm gonna miss him on TV. All right. Anyway, back to the Dynamite review for Wednesday, March 9th, 2022. This was the Dynamite after the pay-per-view Revolution. So Chris Jericho opens the show. Basically said that Kingston gave him the best match he had in AEW and possibly his whole career. I, I mean, I don't know. I didn't see his early work in AEW, but I guess from his later work, yes, it's one of his better matches. But career, I don't know about that one.
They're
I
really
think that might
stretching
be
it.
stretching it just a little bit with career. And then basically said that he admits that he didn't shake Kingston's hand and that he wants to pay his debt and make things right and calls Kingston out so he can shake his hand. So Kingston comes out and then says that Jericho got in his head because it's true. He never actually won the big match that he was supposed to. And he didn't want to show up to the fan fest that they had on Friday. But he showed up and he said that four people came up to him and they said that they didn't, in his words, off themselves because they read his Players Tribune article. And it meant so much to him that he like basically helped people get through tough times just by him sharing his own story and his own struggles that he had to deal with, which I thought was very, very emotional promo. I always love hearing Kingston talk about like just real life like this. It really hits hard and it makes everything way more believable. And Kingston says that he hoped that he made those people proud with his match against Jericho on Revolution, and I'm sure he did. Um, and that Kingston says that Jericho has to ask himself why he didn't shake his hand, because that sounds more like an issue for him, and that he didn't really care that much about it. And Jericho agrees. They shake hands, big pop in the crowd, and then 2.0 randomly comes out at this time. I'm just like all I'm thinking about when 2.0 is I was like, why are they here? Like, like, is this like trying to set up Jericho for the heel turn or something? Because I thought when Jericho gave the handshake that I thought Jericho was just gonna kick him in the nuts and then go heel and beat him up. I literally thought that's what was gonna happen.
Well, Kingston and Santana Ortiz were having that feud with 2.0 and Jericho got involved like all prior to the pay-per-view stuff.
I guess, but like it was, I thought they squashed that and it wasn't needed anymore. Oh, whatever. So I thought that was strange. I thought Jericho was just gonna do a classic kick in the nuts and that was it. But like you always know with Jericho, it's gonna be a long feud, no matter what. All right. So
Yeah.
like I knew this feud was not ending on that match. I knew he was gonna turn heel. I just didn't think it was gonna be in this sense. But 2.0 come out and someone pointed this out. 2.0 actually never touched Jericho. They just threw him to the ground and then they just beat up Kingston. And I was just like, that can't be right. And I rewatched it, but it was right. They actually never touched Jericho. Like they threw him to the ground. Jericho starts holding his neck, and then they like kind of beat him up in the sense that they just like put their foot on him
Yeah,
and they like
yeah.
pretended to do that, but like they didn't actually like throw any punches or kick him like they were doing with Kingston.
Yeah,
And like
beatdown was on Kingston, I guess they were just faking it with Jericho. I mean, commentary said, "Oh, Jericho has a bad neck," but
Yeah.
I guess the idea was that they were faking the pressure on the neck when they were stepping on it.
Yeah, so they like I didn't like that, I think was pretty clever. So Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz come out, make the save, and they give Jericho the bat, and Jericho cracks Santana with the bat, and then they just beat down PNP and Kingston. So there's Jericho and 2.0 together. Jake Hager comes running out. He looks conflicted, and then he just starts beating up Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. And then they try to powerbomb Kingston through a table, and they could not get Kingston up for this. It
Nope.
took all five of them trying to like position Kingston correctly because he was gonna fall bad if they didn't. Before they finally were able to just powerbomb Kingston through the table. It was so awkward getting him through that table. And then Jericho says he calls the group the Jericho Appreciation
What
Society.
a name.
Oh my God. And then he's like, that's entertainment. So like I heard I think it was Brian Alvarez say that it makes sense that Jericho's heel gimmick is that he's a sports entertainer, and that's like the one thing to get yourself booed in
Yeah,
AEW, which is true. And then the Jericho Appreciation Society kind of makes it so it's like he's very narcissistic in it. I don't know, but like God, what a name.
it's. I'm not. I mean, I'm not happy with the name. I kind of just wish they thought of something else. But I can't. I guess with the way it's going is that yeah, everything's going to be centered on Jericho. But I don't know. JAS is what the crowd is going to be chanting.
I mean,
Well, they're the heel faction, so I guess not chanting, but booing.
at least Jericho's getting booed. I guess that's the goal,
Yeah,
and it works.
he did like just backstab one of the biggest baby faces on the roster currently.
Yeah. All right. So that was an opener,
That
right?
happened. I mean, granted, I guess I'm happy for Daniel Garcia in 2.0 to be more tied to something important, but I don't know. Is this really like just them following the Jericho show? I mean, I don't know how much they're going to be able to like shine in any of this because I feel like that was the whole point of this was just getting some of the younger guys, and I use the term younger guys with 2.0 kind of lightly because I know they're fairly experienced, but I don't really know where this is really going to go.
Well, I guess we'll do that like cliche. Let's see it play out.
Yeah,
But like when AEW let it play out, it normally actually leads to something. So I don't
something
mind letting it play out.
most of the time.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Tay Martin versus Hangman Page. And then I heard them say for the AEW World Championship. And I was just like, huh? There is going to be a world title match card? And then like I was trying to see, it's like, did they announce this earlier? Like, what? This is so new. Like, what?
I
Like,
It's caught me off guard.
it completely caught me off guard. But then it was Dante Martin that came out and just like, why is Dante Martin getting this title shot? And then he's like, he's the number two ranked. I'm like, okay, well, I guess if he's number two ranked, then okay,
I
go give
don't
it to him.
regularly
But
check the rankings at all, so I mean, for all I knew, he could have been like number 10 or something. But since they just said he was like number two, I would have believed that anybody could
well,
have been number two.
they always post the rankings, so like that will always be fact checked by like the hardcores. I just assumed that it was correct. I did look at the rankings, but like I didn't look at it extensively. I just saw the only one that I saw was Layla Hirsch number one, and then Thunder Rosa number two. That was it.
I
That's the
mean,
only one that like I remembered, and I knew Acclaimed were number one. That
yeah,
was,
I guess
but I didn't.
as
Yeah.
I guess as long as it wasn't like Serpentico or someone, I would have believed that.
So I think actually Wardlow was number one in the rankings, but he's getting the TNT title shot
Oh yeah,
instead.
yeah.
So, and then I didn't really look at like anything below, and whatever. So Dante does this flippy shit where Dante with a crossbody on Paige. And then this was funny to me because Paige was supposed to catch him and then like roll through and then hit the fall away slam that he does. But he fucked it up and he caught him and then he was like tilting to the side and he's kind of like on the ground. They're like trying to reposition themselves
Yeah.
to like make it through. I was just like, oh wow, they really butchered that one, huh? And then they go to break. I think Paige is just beating down Dante in the break. I mean, it's just getting the heat. I didn't really pay too much attention. And then Dante starts his comeback and he gets like a super high drop kick. Then he does his moonsault from the second rope onto Paige onto the outside. And then I put a spot of the match. He goes for a drop kick, but Hangman Page counters into a power bomb in midair. And then that made a very loud thud. That's why it's on my spot of the match. And Dante goes for a springboard. Hangman Page pushes him off, then hits the buckshot for the win. It was about 7 minutes, 37 seconds. I mean, yeah, it's like
I mean,
that's basically what I thought that the match would be, and that's what happened.
it's a fine match. I mean, I guess my spot of the match. I really like the sequence they had, like when Hangman missed the first buckshot lariat, and they were kind of like inside, then outside, then back inside, where Hangman then actually hit the buckshot to win. I thought that was a nice sequence, but overall, I mean, I don't think I'll be remembering too much else about this match.
Yeah, I mean, it was there. I mean, what this was kind of strange to me was they said because the world title didn't go like the full 60 minutes. We have a standby match. And I was just like, what?
What? Wait, I don't even remember them saying that.
Said that on broadcast. They had that was the Wheeler Yuta versus Pac match. They said was going to be the standby match. And I was just like, when the hell did they ever do a standby match?
Yeah, sir, I think you made that up right now.
No, it's not like the thing
No,
is it's not a made up. Like a standby match has been used before. It's just not used nowadays.
yeah,
But like they've never used it before, I think.
I don't remember AEW
Like,
ever
and
doing
then,
that.
and then I looked at it just like, come on, Tony Khan. It's Dante Martin versus Hangman Page. Like, tell me you legitimately think that match will ever go 60 minutes. Like, there's no way. Like, you have to prep for that like a little bit. Like, come on. But it goes weird. And then like and this standby match actually ended up fucking up the whole show. Because apparently Regal, when hit on his interview, he went longer than he was supposed to, and that made the rest of the show like the match length had to be shorter because of it.
Okay.
And then if you never do the standby match, then you don't actually ever have this problem
Yeah,
that like the matches are shorter. But they did the standby match anyway. Like the whole point of a standby match is to be at the end of the show,
yeah,
and because like if you realize you still have time then you just throw in that match. And then like yeah, so like they didn't use it like correctly, but I mean we'll get there. Um Shivani interviews Paige, and then Paige puts over Dante Martin, says that he'll be glad to wrestle him again. He's really good. And then here comes salty ass Cole comes out and says that he got a fluke victory over him. Like, bro,
uh huh.
that was as clean as it can get. That's not a fluke win. Like he got drilled by the buckshot and lost. Like like you can't say that's a fluke victory. But
Yeah,
and then next week, Adam Cole challenges Hangman Page to a six man. Um, so basically says that he's planning to pick the Bucks. Like just definitely heavy implications that he's gonna pick the Bucks, but like he's probably gonna be Red Dragon was what I thought.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was that one. Do you
I'm.
want to keep talking about it or move to the next one?
I mean, I would just say that I'm looking forward to the six man, though I
Yeah,
don't.
six man's gonna be so good.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think Cole's going to be in the world title picture much longer. I feel like they're just going to move to MJF pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah,
All right, so next up, Brian Danielson and John Moxley versus JD Drake and Anthony Hendry. I think they're called the Workhorsemen on the Indies, is what I was told. So, yeah, I mean, basically just Moxley's beat the crap out of him. Danielson then also beats the crap out of them, and that was the match. Like
basically, it was
it
just
was
a
like it
squash.
was just yeah, it was just the squash. They literally just beat the shit out of these two people, and then I put this down because I thought it was funny, where like Moxley's just beating the crap out of Anthony Hendry with loud chops and kicks, and then JR says, "Anthony's getting assaulted," and I was just like, that sums it up. Like
Basically,
they were getting assaulted. They just got beat the fuck up.
so
Right?
much of this match was just like in the corner, like one of the workhorsemen just getting like striked in the corner.
Yeah, so my here I have spot of the match. Danielson has a surfboard, and then Mox just bites whoever's on the surfboard, and then just chops him while he's still on the surfboard. I thought that was so funny.
My spot was when Mox missed that tope. I forgot if it was on Drake or Henry that he was trying to hit landed on, but he clearly like has foot like trip on the rope or something like that.
Yeah, that was it was such a beatdown. So the finish was Danielson hits his psycho knee and then stomps on his head, locks in LeBell lock, 4 minutes, 1 second. Like this is where this was the part here. It's like where they announced the Pac versus Yuta because the title didn't go the distance, and then that's when they announced the standby. But like I thought that was strange. But this was exactly what you would expect from this. Like 4 minutes, they just beat the shit out of the workhorsemen. Yeah.
Yeah, solid
And like
squash.
so this is where like the issues was. This is like the I guess the more important thing here was the Regal interview. And Regal's like bantering a bit with Tony Schiavone. Like Regal's crying while thanking Tony for helping him. Um, I wrote here in quotes, "I'm no longer required at my old job." I think that got kind of a reaction from the crowd. And he was just going to retire and quit wrestling, but Danielson kept mentioning Regal on Dynamite, and that's why he turned up. Says if someone wants to work hard, he will make them a better professional wrestler, which also got a reaction from the crowd. And then Regal calls Danielson a perfect wrestler, better than him. In the sense that he never had the issues that Regal had to deal with. Like Regal really talked about some emotional stuff early on where he had like a lot of problems, and then Tony Schiavone helped him through all of that. And like the I guess sadist in me was like, all right, Regal, now slap the shit out of Tony Schiavone was what I was expecting, but it didn't happen.
I kind of
But
wish it
anyway,
happened
so
now.
I guess the quote of the promo was, if you're gonna face this person, or face this group, you need to step up or you'll get stepped on. I thought, oh, that's a nice line. I'll put that down.
Yeah, it was a really good promo overall. I just Regal
He
was
went
able to
long.
keep it real.
Yeah, he did go long, and like the time constraint issues because of that. That's why you don't put the standby match in the middle of the show. You put it at the end to make sure you have the time.
Yeah.
It's so weird, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this team. It's gonna be very fun to look at them. I hope they go for the titles
Oh yeah, definitely.
and win them. So yeah, it's gonna be really, really fun to see where it goes with this. Like I'm so excited to watch it. So they got a promo backstage where Paige is talking with the Dark Order, and then like they're showing tension between Dark Order because of what happened on Revolution when Paige kind of shoved Alex Reynolds in the heat of the moment, and then they're trying to Dark Order saying, "All right, so who are you gonna pick for like your two men?" And then like trying to figure that out, and then Paige is like, "Oh, I mean the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy kind of came up to me and they said they wanted to get their hands on the Bucks again. So I mean, it was awkward and like I kind of chose them, but like sorry." And then like Dark Order did not look happy, but it's better. Like I'd much rather like we already got Page with Reynolds and Silver versus Cole and Red Dragon, so it's way better to get like Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy with
Yeah,
Page versus Cole and Red Dragon.
Yeah, I'll just say that I know that they were trying to play like awkward when Hangman was trying to explain that he didn't pick Dark Order as his teammates for that match, but there's like playing awkward and badly playing awkward. And yeah, I felt the segment went a little, even though it was only like 2 minutes long. It should have been just like one or something. I don't know, just like them trying to be awkward. But
I mean,
man,
they're just trying to show dissension between Dark Order. I think. I mean, it's whatever.
yeah, yeah, I get that, but I don't know.
Either you do that or you just don't do it at all, in
I
my opinion.
felt like not doing it at all, or something like that,
Yeah.
or maybe don't bring Paige into it. Just like have Shivani say, "Oh, we got news that Paige picked Jurassic Express as his partners," and just have like the rest of Dark Order look sad and just cut it there.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, I didn't think too much of it. It's just like I just thought their goal is to like try to show dissension between them. What? Yeah, that was it.
Yep.
All right, so here's the standby match, which was not at the end of the show. Wheeler Yuta versus Pac. Orange Cassidy broke his arm when Keith Lee threw him, so that's what they noted, and Cassidy did come out in a sling. So Pac basically controlled the entire match, and then Yuta makes like a comeback and hits a release German, and then Pac did like a full rotation and flipped onto his stomach for the bump, which I thought was unnecessary, but I mean it's so Pac to do that.
Yeah.
Yuta gets the high crossbody for a 2 count, and then that's basically all that Yuta ever gets to do because Pac hits a deadlift German suplex, then spot of the match. Pac hits an avalanche brainbuster and then locks in the brutalizer, gets the win at 5:45.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, you knew Pac was gonna squash him.
yeah, I mean, I kind of wish this match would have had more time because I think Yuta and Pac could have like a lot better match if it wasn't just like the 5 minutes they were given. And I mean, I kind of wish
Honestly,
this
they shouldn't
wasn't.
even have had the match to begin with. Like,
They
if you're gonna
shouldn't
do this,
have.
just like, yeah,
I
but I
mean,
mean,
there's no like build to it. I mean, like that rivalry between Death Triangle and Best Friends is so old at this point, never brought up. But I mean,
yeah.
they're both like solid workers, so like on paper it'd be a good match, but no time given, no build given, so it is as it just sounds it is.
I have on here one, two, three, four, five, 6 segments that happen before the next match. Like
Yeah, no,
the
you're
way
right. There's a lot that happens before the next match.
like the way I do it is like I italicize like promos and segments, and then in matches I just keep it in I put in bold the match and then like the description below with my notes on it, and then like everything italicized is just like the segments, and then like it's split between paragraphs. And then here I have the Cutler cam where Bucks and Red Dragon arguing, and then Cole wants to pick the Bucks, and the Bucks say that they don't want anything to do with Hangman. So Cole's like, all right, then I guess it's Red Dragon. And then I wrote this because it was funny where Cutler's just like, I'd pick you, Matt and Nick. And then they go, shut up, Brandon. And then you hear, I think it's Bobby Fish in the background. It's like, I heard that, Brandon. I thought that was dumb. But
Yeah,
so like there you could still see they're trying to show awkwardness between Cole, Dragon, Red Dragon, and the Bucks. And then it went into FTR, and then Tully got fired randomly from FTR. Like I don't know like that just came out of the blue.
yeah, it was something about like families, and Dax just got so mad at Tully for. I don't remember what Tully exactly said besides it being about
Like
families, and he was just
yeah,
like,
they said it like it was a family thing, and then Tully's just like, listen, I know family's important, but like it's about championships. It's about winning championships. And then like I think Dax just wanted to put family first, and then for Tully, because like for the Four Horsemen, for them, like when they did this, it was all about championships, and that's what Tully was trying to get at, and then they didn't like that, and they just fired him. That was weird.
yeah, well, okay, Tully's gone, I guess.
Yeah, it was so weird. I guess bye bye Pinnacle. Is that what that means? I don't know.
Hmm.
All right, so next up, it's Andrade wants to fire Matt Hardy from the AHFO. And I thought that was like I knew something was gonna happen. I was just like, wait, was that what this meeting was about? It was to fire Hardy? Like that's news to me. Okay. So Hardy says that he apologized to the whole group and that when he puts the suit on, he turns into an asshole, which was a shot at Andrade. I thought that was funny. So they take a vote to vote Matt Hardy out or not. Andrade says yes, vote him out. Hardy says no. Jose says yes. And then Private Party says no. So that's 3-2 no. And then what I thought would happen here was I thought Butcher and Blade were going to vote yes to remove Matt Hardy. So it's 4-3. And then they were just going to beat up Hardy and Private Party. And then I thought Jeff Hardy would come out to make the save. I thought that's what was going to happen. But instead, it was Private Party when Matt Hardy's back is turned to them change their thumbs up to a thumbs down. So they end up voting Matt Hardy out. And then everyone beats the crap out of Matt Hardy. And then Sting and Darby come out to make the save. And then they get beat down. And then Jeff Hardy comes up. I was like, this is so extra.
Yeah, I mean, well, Butcher and Blade didn't even
They didn't
do.
even get to vote. Like, are they not people? Like, do they not get any power in this? Like, what the hell? Why did they not get the vote?
They they just forgot about them, like the
Like,
fans have.
I think mine was made way more sense. At least everyone got to vote.
Yeah, I mean, did they just forget, or I guess Andrade isn't a fan of Butcher's band or something like that, so they didn't listen to them. But yeah, I mean, the idea of the entire group going against Matt isn't the worst thing I could think of, but I kind of wish Private Party would have stuck with like Beyond Matt's side, just because they've had that relationship for a while, like mentor mentees. So
They
I think,
probably just want to face the Hardy Boys because that was their like they idolized them growing up.
yeah, I imagine that's what's going to lead to.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, the save come in, the save by Sting, Darby, and Jeff comes in. Crowd goes crazy for Jeff.
Jeff,
I'm.
you need to mention that Jeff Hardy, before he made the save,
Oh
didn't
yeah, did the
dance out at the
dance.
entrance ramp while his brother's getting
They're
backstage. He's
getting
just like,
beat up.
wait, gotta pop the crowd a bit before going in.
It's like 3 versus 6 in the ring, and Hardy's dancing on the entranceway. Eh, I
You gotta
mean,
pop the crowd, man.
basically, I'm wondering because they got the Hardy theme for AEW.
That wasn't
Um,
owned by WWE.
yeah, yeah. I'm wondering how much No More Words would cost for Tony to buy because I think that's a worthwhile investment.
But like Nowhere Words is just for Jeff Hardy alone, not
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the Hardy Bros. All right, and they're
When
probably just going to be a team from now on.
probably, but if they ever decide to give Hardy like a singles match on like Rampage or something to build up the tag team match,
I guess.
just
Also news, um, Matt Hardy signed a contract extension. Yeah, good timing,
okay.
right?
Yeah, it was. Huh, I wonder what
Apparently,
convinced him.
like, yeah, apparently Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy's contract both ends at the same time. So like they synced it up together. So good for them. So if
Yeah.
they want to leave, they can leave together. Like I think that's pretty nice of Tony Khan to do that.
Also, kind of
I also
interesting.
think Jeff Hardy's name, they called him when he came out as Jeffrey Nero
Oh
Hardy. So
yeah.
maybe there might be like some copyright with Jeff Hardy and they have to call like add in the Nero in there or something. I'm not sure yet.
Maybe JR has been known to kind of just change people's names every so often. He calls like Jungle Boy Jack Perry like half the time.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
wonder how Sting feels about being in the ring with Jeff Hardy again.
yeah, I saw the meme you sent me with Sting backstage just choking Jeff Hardy. with like the SpongeBob meme. That was funny.
Well, it's good to have Jeff Hardy healthy,
Oh, he's
and
clean.
yeah,
Like Jeff
that's
Hardy is clean now. So,
yeah. I'm happy to hear all of that.
all right. So next up, Swerve Strickland, Tony Nese will fight on Rampage, which we'll talk about later on. Um, then here's a Wardlow promo. Now he comes out babyface entrance. I noted that. Wardlow says that he wanted to chase his dreams and not help people with theirs, and then he realized he took the opportunity with MJF. Um, because he thought that it would help him chase his dreams, but then he realized he was just helping Max the entire time. So that's why he did what he did. Wardlow says that he hopes the crowd can, or the people can forgive him for associating with such trash. And then Wardlow got pissed that MJF slapped him, which, yeah, I mean, we all saw. He's still under contract, but he doesn't care. Um, so he's basically telling Max to just release him from the contract and then that'll be that. And then Wardlow says he's finally free, and then he's going to go for the TNT title. And then after that, he's going to be going for more, and that this is Wardlow's world. I was like, yeah, that was a pretty decent promo. First time for Wardlow to do that. It was all right.
Yeah, we never really hear
Uh,
from him, so I think this is pretty good. Like first face promo.
I did see that someone mentioned this. I thought it was really good, where they said, "What if Max says, you know what? I'll release you from your contract, Wardlow, but you'll have a 90-day no compete clause in it." And then I was just like, "Ooh, that's so heelish. I like it."
Yeah,
And it also kind of stops Wardlow from participating in the TNT title match, because like then he can't compete for 90 days. I
yeah,
thought I thought that was pretty clever. They're not going to do it, but I thought that was really clever.
yeah. Would be.
And then finally, the final segment for the next match. Cutie Marshall talks to Keith Lee, says that he has his back, and then Lee's like, I don't want it. And then Marshall gets mad. Like, that was so pointless. But I guess it just set up a match for Rampage.
I was completely just. I almost say lost, but just confused on why that promo even needed to happen. I mean, just to set up the match,
It wasn't
but
needed. It really wasn't needed.
I just like that Keith Lee said he had a big back, and that's when I kind of tuned out.
Yeah. All right, so next up, Jurassic Express versus the Acclaimed for the AEW tag titles. I didn't know that they were going to have this on either. Like, they did not promote this stuff at all. But um, starts off Acclaimed basically get the heat on Jungle Boy. I didn't talk about Caster's Rap because it wasn't as good as it normally is, so doesn't get spotlighted now. Hot tag made to Luchasaurus and he runs wild. Jungle Boy does a dive on the outside. Luchasaurus rolls on his back, grabs Bowens with his legs, and then slams his face on the ground with his legs. I thought that was really cool to look, or like I thought that was a cool spot, but it didn't get spot of the match for me. Jungle Express go for their modified Doomsday device, where basically Jungle Boy runs the ropes with Luchasaurus helping him, and then jumps off the ropes and then just clotheslines them. That's the I don't know what they call it, but I just have it noted as a modified Doomsday device.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down
Um,
too.
yeah. So they try to go for that, but Jungle Boy gets crotched. And then the Acclaimed hit their finish, which is like Bowen's whatever move that he does, and then the elbow drop. But Luchasaurus breaks it up. And here's my spot of the match. Acclaimed hit a move where they pop up Jungle Boy, and then they hit like this weird power bomb on him, like this weird type of power bomb move. I don't know what commentary called it, but like it was a very unique move, and I was just like, "Ooh, that looked super nice." I wish I could describe it better, but yeah, that was my spot of the match. They only got a two anyway, and then they Jurassic Express hits their modified Doomsday device for the win. 9 minutes 28 match, or 9 minutes 28 seconds. This match was basically what you would expect. It was Acclaimed get the heat, Jungle Boy makes the hot tag, they get the win. Like it was your basic tag team match. It was
It,
all right.
it was, yeah, all right. I don't know. I felt it was pretty boring and not very memorable
Would
from.
have been cool if they had more time.
Yeah, I think that's a running theme in this episode, but hey, what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. Next week will probably be way better when they team up with Paige.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa, #1 contenders match. They start off with some chain wrestling. And then finally, I hear Tony Schiavone agree that they stole the championship away from Thunder Rosa. He agreed that she should have won, but the numbers game was too much for her and that it was bad. So I'm like, thank you, Tony, for finally agreeing. It's a step up from being quiet. But that also tells you how little I cared about the match, that I was paying attention to what Tony Schiavone was saying and focusing on that and writing about that. Hirsch gets control, works and then just gets the heat for all the commercial break and back from the break, and then Rosa makes her comeback, which I mean this is just the theme that you're always gonna see. Rosa hits a really ugly superplex. Like it did not look nice at all. And then she hits like a spinning face breaker of some sort, and then a sliding lariat. And then Layla ends up kicking out, goes on the outside, grabs the turnbuckle, and then Red Velvet stops her from grabbing the turnbuckle and using it. And then Layla locks in her armbar, and then Rosa counters, hits Fire Thunder Driver, gets the win, 8 minutes, 57 seconds. And then Tony Schiavone says that Thunder Rosa will get her title shot inside a steel cage. And then Britt Baker does a promo, just basically said Thunder Rosa is never going to be like her, and then calls her a carny.
Oh, what a match. I once
It was there.
I mean, I had expectations for this match, and I
That's more. I was not expecting anything from this
I
match.
was expecting a little bit more than what we got. I think like the red velvet stuff completely unneeded, especially when you're running a match this short on time. And I think it would have been fine to have Thunder Rosa go over without any interference, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't really want to talk much about this. It was just there. I
Yeah,
mean, it's like we all knew what was going to happen. Like we all knew it was going to be Thunder Rosa getting the championship match again in a steel cage because they kept hyping up that there was so much interference. Like we all knew this was going to happen. So like, I mean, that's why.
yeah, but to be honest, I don't know. Is the main event any better?
Nope. I didn't like the main event.
I did not either, but let's get into that.
So main event, Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT Championship. Scorpio Sky has new entrance music. I told you, I was telling you, they have plans for Scorpio Sky. So I was expecting a title change. And then Sammy Guevara comes out, and I'm gonna keep harping on this. Why the fuck does he have two belts? Seriously, why? Why? And then I think Excalibur on commentary was just like Sammy Guevara with that inner circle vest, and I'm just like, that's not an inner circle vest. Like that's just the Sammy vest.
Doesn't it say inner circle on it? I thought
It didn't say inner circle on it, just a Spanish
okay.
god. So it was basically just like your average match that you'd find. And then Sammy pulls out a table, and then American Top Team are complaining to the referee, and rightfully so. There's no reason for him to pull out a table in a match that will get him disqualified like that.
Yeah.
And then there was a very loud slap to the thigh on that super kick, is what I noted, where Sammy just super kicks Scorpio Sky and then puts him on the table. So here's spot of the match and basically like the
The
whole
only thing
match.
that happens.
Yeah, Sammy goes for a 630 onto Scorpio Sky, and then Sky moves out of the way, and Sammy crashes through the table. And then Sammy's signaling that he is hurt, and then Ty Conti comes out because you have to be more dramatic. And she's like holding his hand, doctor's checking on him. Sammy says he's not okay. They go to commercial break, and like all you see is that they're still checking on Sammy the entire time. And then I just know here that they're just milking this, aren't they?
Yep.
And then they start taking him away, and I'm just like, if they're gonna take him away, he has to forfeit, right? Like this is just Scorpio Sky winning by forfeit. Like,
Basically.
and then Sammy's just like, no. And, like as he's walking up there, he's like, no, no, no. You know what? I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna make my way through. He starts pushing it, and they're trying to get him to stop. And I'm just like, there it is. So and it's just like, so Sammy's just gonna go back in and then lose this match, right? Has to be what happens. Back from the, and then they come back from the break. Sammy spits in Sky's face, and then you see Paige Van Zandt just jaw jacking with Ty Conti on the outside. And then Sky's focusing the back and the ribs of Sammy, which is the good move to do. And honestly, if Sammy is hurt, he shouldn't really be in the match. Like any other like type of thing would be like they'd stop the match there, and then the other guy wins by forfeit and be a referee stoppage. So like this didn't make sense to me that they were doing this, but like they have to get the drama in for like no reason, but they have to get it in anyway. And then I noted here Ty is very annoying. I don't know what she did, but it annoyed me, so I wrote it down. So Sammy rallies a bit. He
um,
goes for his double jump cutter, and I'm just thinking to myself, bro, you have hurt ribs. Why the fuck are you going for a move that requires you to take that bump? Like you're
I,
like you know how he does that thing where he's just like, I'm crazy, right? Like, no, he's just stupid.
I,
Like,
I don't know
ah,
what to say.
like he goes for this double jump cutter. I mean, he hits it and he gets a 2 count. And then but it's like you're hurt. Like you're just like it's never gonna work if you do that. But I mean, whatever.
Just
Scorpio
kick
tries
the
to go
guy.
for the yeah, like he has a GTH. Just use that to get the win. Whatever. Scorpio tries to do the TKO. Sammy blocks it. He tries to go for GTH. He hits it, but he can't get the cover. And then he tries to go for the shooting star press, but Scorpio Sky gets the knees up. Paige Van Zandt attacks Ty Conte, and then Sky hits TKO on Sammy for the win. And your new TNT champion, Scorpio Sky, 11 minutes, 34 seconds. And then this was overbooked as fuck. It was so overbooked. I could not enjoy it. Like,
It was the least impressive title win I've seen on AEW. They booked Sammy to have like all these setbacks to begin with like the injured ribs, him making the mistake by going through the table, the distractions from Ty and Paige. So with all of that like put together, I mean, yeah, it protects Sammy, but your new champion doesn't look that good because it barely seemed like Sky had anything to do with like him getting his own win. And I mean, they were playing up his single streak the entire time, but I was thinking I don't remember the last time Sky had a singles match, so just something else like going through my head. I was just like, yeah, this was not put together well.
they overbooked it so like I mean, I like AEW when they just do like their standard stuff because there's always going to be a clear winner every time. But like, there's no need for this. Like, you don't need Sammy to do a 630 onto the like. We already know Sammy's ribs are hurt. We saw him do a Spanish fly off the top of the entrance at Revolution. We know he's going to be coming into the match like super hurt. Like he does a 630 through the table. Like you have milking this drama with the ref or with the ref Ty Conte and the doctor and just like for all a commercial break, it's just like they're literally just like checking on him because you want it to believe that Sammy is going to go out, but like no one would have thought that that was a legitimate injury. They thought that was all just a work, and then we were right in the end. It was a work, so it's like there's like why can't you just have Scorpio Sky win and then like clean without like all this distraction stuff, and then say, well, Sammy's pretty hurt from his match with at Revolution where he went through a table off the top of the entrance. Like that's so believable already.
Yeah,
Like you can do Sammy missing a 630 and then just play that he hurt his ribs on that and then Scorpio just works that. Like
yeah,
they're both very talented wrestlers. They can like do that. Like but like the whole idea for this is because they're trying to set up Paige Van Zandt and Ty Conte, which I forgot to say this at the end, but Paige Van Zandt signs her contract on Ty's ass, and that was fucking hilarious.
uh, Yeah,
But
they.
like that was the whole goal. It's like basically because it was supposed to be PVZ, which is my acronym for Paige Van Zandt now, PVZ and Brandy, and they just like fed that to Ty Conte instead. But like,
Yeah, because this
I mean,
episode clearly didn't have enough going on already. They
I
needed
don't
one
know.
more contract signed.
I mean, she was gonna sign the contract though. Like they announced that they were gonna have her sign the contract,
Yeah, yeah.
but I did not enjoy it.
No,
I didn't like this Dynamite.
even
Like,
even in the main event when you're expecting that Sky and Sammy would get some good time to do some cool flippy shit or whatever, half the match was just like Sammy laying down in pain. Like at least they cut to a commercial during that time, but every time I glanced back, it was just Sammy laying there selling his abs.
yeah, it was like 4 or 5 minutes of that. So it was
Yeah,
basically like a 6 minute match.
basically.
It was, uh,
It was so
I didn't
rushed,
like it.
but hopefully going through this, the next episode should be better. Just because that seems to be a lot more like match focused instead of like promo focused.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was Dynamite. I didn't like it.
I didn't
That's
like
about
it
it.
either.
That was not good. Not good.
Think
Hopefully next week. Next week is St. Patrick's Day slam, so it should be way better.
it's a
That's
fairly big
what I
event,
hope for.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna expect it will be. But yeah,
Yeah.
tune in next time when we talk about the St. Patrick Day Slam.